Hey TPT sellers, it's Mike Fuchigami. I'm the host of the SEO Tpreneur YouTube community. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through how to figure out which of your product lines are working so that you can follow the money and make more of that because it's working. So I was getting ready for a call with a client and they asked me which product line they should work on over the summer so that they're ready for back to school season. So I used the Google Sheet tool I call the Strategy Friend to look at their lifetime data to figure out which of their product lines were making money. And then I realized it'd actually be kind of neat if we could do this with recent data. So I came up with a new Google Sheet tool that I called the Extreme Strategy Friend, which basically takes two product stat CSV files that we have, and it figures out the stats between those two files to figure out recent performance. I make a lot of tools to help me with my TPT business and to help other TPT sellers. It is confusing, it is overwhelming. There are so many tools, it's hard to know where to start. So I made a little bit of a guide. If you go to SEOtpreneur.com, at the top there's a button that says TPT SEO Seller Tools. And when you click on that, there's a video about how much TPT sellers really make. And then if you scroll down, there are some questions that I get asked about. Why do you put your tools here? Or why don't you put them all in one spot? Or why are you making Google Sheet tools? These are great questions. You can check out the frequently asked questions to understand the method behind the madness. But today I want to figure out which of my product lines are working, so I'm going to click on that. And I can see here there are 3 tools that I could use to answer this question. The tool I'm going to use today is completely free. If you're part of the Pro community, just click on that link to the Pro Tools, and then we're going to click on the link that says Advanced Data Tool Google Sheet, and it'll ask me to make a copy. So I'm going to go ahead to do that. Now, if you're not part of the Pro community yet, no problem. Go to freesellertool.com. When you scroll down, there's a link for the Advanced Google Sheet tool, and you get it for free when you sign up for the email newsletter. But if you're already part of the Pro community, or if you have access to the Pro Tools, you can click on this link, and you can download the tools without signing up for the email newsletter again. Let me walk you through how to use the Strategy Friend. And for most people, looking at lifetime stats for your products will be enough. There are a bunch of tabs at the bottom here, and I'm going to click the one that says TPT Product Stats CSV, and then I have to upload my product stats file. So if I go to Teachers Pay Teachers and click on the store icon and then click on Product Statistics, there's a button here that says Download, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to save to my computer my product stats file. Then I'm going to go back to my Google Sheet. I'm going to click on this yellow cell in B3. Let me hit escape so I get the menus. I'm going to click on File, Import. I'm going to click Upload. I'm going to click Browse. I'm going to find the file that I just downloaded. It's going to give me some options. I'm going to click on this down triangle beside Create New Spreadsheet. And instead, I'm going to change it to Replace Data at Selected Cell. And then I'm going to import my data. Now I have to delete this row with the header. So I'm just gonna right click in that yellow cell and I'm gonna click Delete Row. And that's it. I'm ready to play with my data. At the bottom of the screen, I'm gonna click on Strategy Friend. If your screen isn't wide enough, on the left-hand side, there are 3 lines beside the Start Here tab. And if you click on that, you'll be able to find all of the different tabs in here. So I'm going to click on Strategy Friend. So the Strategy Friend is a new way of looking at our product stat CSV file. There are 2 lists. There's list A and list B. And right now, list A shows all of my products in my product stat CSV file sorted in terms of earnings. So what I can do is on the left-hand side here, I can type a word for one of my product lines, like for example, reading. And when I type reading, it'll pull out all of the products that have reading in the title, and it'll put that into list B, which is orange. So I can see here that my reading resources account for 37.5% of all my earnings. Maybe I have other reading resources that don't have reading in the title, but maybe they have article. So I'm going to type article here, and it'll pull out any other resources that have article. I might type passage. Nope, all of my products have reading in them. If you had seasonal products, you could put things like Christmas or Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day, and it'll pull out all of your seasonal products into the right-hand side so you can see how much of your earnings that amounts to. So based on this, I might think that my reading resource is a good product line to continue. But I know that most of my sales come from 1 or 2 reading bundles. So specifically bundle number 45 and product number 207. Those are the lines in the product.csv file. So I want to see how many of my reading products I sold if I don't include those big bundles. So I'm going to type here row number 45, and it just got rid of that. So now I can see that my reading resources account for 6.3% of my total earnings. What if I take out product number 207? So I'm going to type here 207. And if I hit enter, I now see that my reading resources really account for about 4%. Everything else comes from that bundle. So now I'm curious how my essay product line does compared to my reading product line. So my reading product line accounts for 4% of my earnings. I'm going to delete these words here. And on the left-hand side here, I'm going to type essay. So it's going to pull out all my essay products. And my essay products are new. They account for 0.6% of my total earnings. But the problem with this analysis is that it's looking at my lifetime stats. And this essay resource I only came up with a couple of months ago. So this is why I made the Extreme Strategy Friend. And the Extreme Strategy Friend takes two product.csv files and it figures out how the product stats have changed between those two date stamps. And that lets me look at recent data to figure out which of my product lines are working. In order to analyze more than one products.csv file in this Google Sheet tool, we need to use something that I call the data locker. So I'm going to click on Start here. I have another video that explains how to set up your data locker. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Here's my data locker file. And if I click on this tab that says TPT Products.csv all, and you can see here that I uploaded a file on February 13th in 2024. Here's a file from January 4th, 2023. And if I scroll through here, you can see that I have a lot of product stats files uploaded into my data locker. And if I scroll down to the very bottom, you can see I've uploaded today's file, which is April 14th, 2025. So I'm going to copy the link to my data locker. So back here on the advanced data tool, I'm going to scroll down on the Start Here page. There's an orange block where I can paste in my link to my data locker. Google Sheets will try to connect to that file. It might take a second or two depending on the speed of your internet connection and the speed of your computer. Nothing will work until I click on this green button to allow access to my data locker. So now this Google Sheet can communicate with the data locker file. I'll just wait for the data to load. There's a blue bar in the top right-hand corner that shows that the file is syncing. It's loading the information. There we go. It's gone all the way to the right-hand side, and I can see that it's loaded some data in my product stats file, and it's found some of my sales data information. Now at the bottom, there's a link to the Extreme Strategy Friend. So I'm going to click on that. And for me, I can see that it's loaded 365 days worth of data. And that's because I uploaded a products.csv file to my data locker on Sunday, April 14th, 2024. And I uploaded a products.csv file today to my data locker on Monday, April 14th, 2025. So this only works because I save my products.csv files pretty regularly. If you don't have a products.csv file saved from a while ago, no problem. Just save your product stats file today, and then in a month or in 2 months, do the same thing, and now you'll have two product stats files, and you'll be able to look at 2 months of data to figure out which one of your product lines you should work on. I actually want to change the time period that I'm analyzing right now. And the way that you change the time period is at the bottom here, you click on the Extreme TPT Product Stats. And I have a drop-down menu to select the time period. I'm going to choose this year so far. And now it's showing me data from Monday, December 30th, 2024 to Monday, April 14th, 2025. Which is 105 days worth of data. And now if I go back to the Extreme Strategy Friend, if I type essay, I can see that my essay product line accounts for 11% of my earnings. Whereas if I click on the Strategy Friend, if I look at the lifetime data, my essay product line only accounts for 0.6% of my earnings. So at first glance, I might want to work on my essay product line, but I know that I've been running Facebook ads to this product, my 5-paragraph essay graphic organizer. So if I ignore row 267, let's type 267 and ignore that, my essay product line accounts for 2.6% of my earnings. All right, well, I need to figure out what product line to work on. Here's my reading bundle that I run ads to, so I'm gonna ask it to ignore that. Let's ignore product 45. My Happy New Year resource, I also ran ads to, so I'm gonna ask it to ignore it. 29. And this 5-paragraph essay graphic organizer, row 267, I ran ads to it, so let's ignore that. I'm trying a new coloring product line, of which I've made $0. So my essay product line is better than my coloring product line. I have some fake news resources, which account for 5% of my earnings. What about my SEL resources? So my SEL resources account for 33% of my store earnings. These resources here are a couple of bundles. So now I'm thinking, is there a product line that I can make that upsells to those bundles? What about my grammar product line? My essay product line is doing better than my grammar product line. What about goal setting stuff? If I type goals, that's 5% of my earnings. This is where the tinkering comes in, and you try to tease out and figure out which product lines are working, and then you follow the money. I think for me, one of the things that if I reset this board, if I type in some keywords to pull out the products that I run Facebook ads to, those resources account for 20% of my earnings. Now that doesn't account for my ad spend. I'd have to subtract my ad spend, but part of me wonders if maybe I need to lean into my Facebook ads and explore that more. Some of us run Facebook ads, and I want to share something cool because it's never happened to me before in a Facebook ad campaign. But this campaign here, I've optimized the ad to go for purchases as opposed to link clicks, which is typically what people do in TPT land. In this top campaign here, I've had 43 people purchase resources after seeing my Facebook ad. I spent $255 on ad spend, and I've made $368. So my return on ad spend is above 1. So for every dollar I spend on ads, I make $1.44. So 44 cents profit. Now I have some other campaigns that are not profitable, and if I turn those off, my average return on ad spend should go up. This is kind of exciting for me because I've never had a campaign where Facebook knew that there was a positive return on ad spend. So for those of you who run Facebook ads, look at your return on ad spend, and I'd be very curious to know if your return on ad spend is over 1. If it's less than 1, it doesn't mean that your ad campaign isn't effective. It could be that people click on your ads and buy your products, but due to privacy reasons, Meta doesn't receive the signal that they purchased a product, so the ad campaign can't optimize for it. But I thought this was kind of cool. Okay, so what have I decided? I might tinker more with Facebook ads. I think my essay product line is doing better than my grammar product line or my coloring pages product line. So I might see if I can create related products to that essay product line and maybe bundle them together. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.